James Change Good Brand, and welcome to the next episode of What the Hell Am I Going to Do With That? And today's guest, we have the wonderful Rutabaga. Yes, that's right, the Rutabaga. Have you ever went to the farmer's market and seen one of these things? Well, the Rutabaga is essentially a cross between a turnip and a cabbage. It's a root vegetable. It's said to have been originated in Scandinavia, Finland, and Russia. So it's like a cold weather root vegetable. The best way I can describe it, when it's harvested, it normally has the leaves, the roots like a beet at the top, and then the root hangs down at the bottom. And when you see it at the market, it will have like a waxy film on the outside of it. The waxy film is made so that it prevents the rutabaga from drying out. The best way to describe the flavor profile of the rutabaga, it's similar to a potato. But as I said before, it's a cross between a turnip and a cabbage. Actually, in Scotland, Ireland, and I believe also Finland, they used to carve these things and make lanterns out of them because of their great big size. So with no further ado, I'm pretty sure you want to know, what the hell am I going to do with that? Well, let me tell you. So first things first, when you see it at the market, you want to judge a rutabaga by its density. It should be a nice, thick, and heavy vegetable when you pick it up. In fact, the rutabaga is a vegetable and not a starch. Because it has less starch than a potato, this vegetable is also keto friendly. So if you're on the keto diet, this is a good substitute for potatoes, but you still have to watch your carbs. I believe in keto. I'm a nutritionist, so I really do not know. So, well, let's get into how we're going to cut this thing open. So, the waxy buildup, usually if it's organic, it doesn't have the waxy buildup, and it'll be covered in dirt when you harvest it. So it's best to rinse the dirt off first. And when you peel a rutabaga, the skin is really thick, so you don't want to peel it with a peeler because it's a lot of work. You may actually break your peeler. So the best way that I do this, there's many ways that you can do it. You can either hold it straight up and down after you cut off the root and the stalk, and you can shave it down on the sides of the rutabaga here. But today, because of the recipe that I'm going to use today, I'm going to make cubes out of it. So I'm going to suggest that you either make mashed rutabaga as a mashed potato substitute, but I'm just going to make some cubed, steamed rutabaga. Just a nice, simple recipe for you guys to try to enhance your meals. So let's get into this thing now. First things first, you need a cutting board. I have a knife here. I got a much sturdier knife than the one I used when I cut the mango. And I suggest you have like a smaller knife, a paring knife, because what you're going to have to do is peel the skin off. So first things first, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut down the center of it to cut it into halves. You got to be very careful when cutting this thing and that your knife doesn't slip. So I cut it right down the middle. I really wouldn't care too much. So that's how the rutabaga looks on the inside. Nice little fleshy thing. It almost looks like a potato when it's on the inside here. So then what I do next is after I cut it in half, I lay it flat on its side here like that. So now what you do is you cut off this end here. We got Micah coming back. I'm cutting the rutabaga, son.
I'll do it.
Not today. Let me record this and then I'll let you cut afterwards. I'll let you cut the other one, right? Okay? He wants to cut with the knife. I normally let him, before this video's sake and speed of the video. So you cut off these ends here. So now what you want to do next is you want to cut like a ½ inch thick section of it here. And you set it to the side here. You're going to do this throughout the whole thing here. Once again, like I said, there's many ways to do this. This is just the way that I do it. I feel bad not letting my son cut that. I like to let him participate. But be very careful, because this is a tough one, to not cut yourself. You got to be very, very careful when you cut this thing. And make sure you have, it's all about the knife. You want a nice sharp knife and a sturdy knife too. So, now that you got the half moons, this is when you grab your paring knife or a smaller knife. Today, this is like a steak knife. And what you want to do is you want to take the knife. You can see the dark yellow part there. That's a nice guide of where you want to cut at. Is you take it and then you cut along the side there, just like that. I wouldn't worry about cutting too much of it off. You want to just get the deed done here. There's still a little bit left on there, so what I'll do, because this is the end piece, and this is that waxy film on it too. And you don't want that in your meal. It'll upset your stomach big time. Once again, we cut all this. Leave in the comments if you ever tried the rutabaga, or if this is something that you always ignored and you didn't know what you wanted to do with it. So there we go. We cut it on here. As you can see where I'm going here with this, I'm just peeling off that hard outside skin so we can cube this thing up and steam it. So yeah, this thing is similar to the beet. This one's a little tough. So once you get caught up, don't force it. That's how you cut yourself. What you do is you just turn the knife and then you go like that. I almost cut myself there. Be pretty wicked to cut yourself. Stack up them poker chips, you know? So, we've got this knife here. Now, with the half moons here, the best way to do it, there's no particular way. You just cut in cubes. I like to cut it in half here like this. And then all you do is you cut cubes. Just like that. If you want smaller cubes, you can do smaller cubes. Here, so you cut half the moon here. So it should be in halves like that. Then I push them together, turn them to the side, cut down the line like this. Once again, cut the half moons. I always like the name Rutabaga. Got the Rutabaga. Yeah, so the fun part about recording these videos now is that editing them, I find out I'm learning how to edit as I go. Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to do that speed lapse thing. So if anybody who knows how they can help me with that, that'll be very good information for me to have. I'm strongly interested. So this one, I might want to do thirds. So you do 1, 2 cuts makes 3. A little math lesson there for the kids at home. Sorry for the profanity earlier. All right. So this is our cubed rutabagas here. As I was saying before, you could do many things with this. You could oven roast them and do like a roasted potato dish. I'm going to steam them today just because I like the texture of it when it's steamed, and I feel like steaming actually keeps some of the nutrients that's in the rutabaga as well. And then you can also boil them like you were doing mashed potatoes and do a mashed rutabaga. And as I said before, it's higher in sugar content, but it's lower in carbohydrates. So this is something that would accommodate a substitution for a potato if you were someone who was on the keto diet. So guys, what I'm going to do is end this video here now, and then I'm going to post another video on how I actually steam them and making the recipe, guys. Thanks again, and this is the rutabaga on what the hell am I going to do with that? Thanks.